Hello, good evening, afternoon, evening, yeah, evening, and welcome to the Full Force News Burst Live with me, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic AT, brought to you by General Joe's REBORN.com. How is everyone doing? What a day! It's been another G.I. Joe heavy um, Tuesday. Tuesday, innit? Hello, everyone in the chat, out of shelf space, pre order shenanigans, indeed. Same time toys. Hello Mason. Hello Jamie Lynn. Hello Michael. Hello the real Zim. Hello Derek. Hello Medieval Alchemist. Hello everybody. Indeed, loan. Stay cheesed flesh bags. Yes. So obviously pre-orders today. Got more promo images to kind of sift through. And I just want a quick shout out as well to Toy Habits, who last night posted kind of promo images is the word I'm looking for Snake Eyes, Monkey Wrench, Cobra Commander, and the other one, Major Blood. So shout out to them for posting those. And then, of course, today went up on Hasbro Pulse officially. Hasbro Pulse, Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, etc., etc. But we got our first viewing of the Claw promo images, which look amazing. So yeah, we'll be delving into those as well today. Like obviously yesterday I talked about some of the images that we'd already been privy to, but we obviously hadn't seen any of the promo images really. So yeah, let's get stuck in, shall we? It is Tuesday night and it's the full force. Hold on to your hats. Right. So classified pre-orders and promo images galore. I will say, it wasn't lost on me. This wave has felt very much like a quick, put it together sort of situation. And I don't know if it's like because things leaked early. Like we saw a lot of leaked images of Cobra Commander, Monkey Wrench, all sorts of different kind of leaks going on. Snake Eyes as well, actually, to a degree, and Major Blood. We saw all of them sort of leaked. So I wonder if there's an element of trying to get ahead of the game here, or if it's got if there's other reasons behind it. I don't know. It just seems to be like one of those things where it just seems to be quite, yeah, quick. Let's just get these figures that are ready to go out. And the fact that we've got, like I would definitely say that the promo images for the retail mainline figures, I'm not as like, oh, I'm kind of expecting more. I was expecting more homages in the background, characters in characters, like other things in the images and stuff. And there just isn't any of that. It's all just like different poses of the figures, which is all well and good. But I think it was for me, the Claw has rescued the promo images scenario. And also, I will say, I'm not saying that the promo images for the other figures aren't good. They're still beautiful images, but certainly not the sort of level that we've been accustomed to recently in some of the the Dio scenes. Also a little bit of lack of narrative going on. It just seems to be they're all in the same place, but there doesn't seem to be like a storyline like we've had with lots of these. I know there is an element of us being very much spoiled within this kind of arena of images, but still going to go through them and I'm still going to pick them apart. We'll start with Major Blood, who, of course, if you remember, the last time we saw Major Blood promo images were back in the Cobra Island days, the Target exclusive Cobra Island days. And the thing I would say about that was we only got, I want to say, like, I think I've only ever seen, am I right in saying I've only ever seen 2 or maybe 3 promo images from that Major Blood in the jungle shot? Like it's one of him standing upright with the trees behind him. Then there's one without his helmet on, and then there's one of him sort of like a close up where he's like maybe like in a sort of prone position over the log that's in the shot. I don't remember a huge amount of images from that particular figure. So it's nice that we get more for Blood here, but again, it's very much like it's a simple premise. They're all in the same environment, and you've got they're all just different angles of the figures. And I know that sounds like pretty much every photo shoot we've ever seen from GI Joe, but like I said, we have been spoiled over the years of having these kind of like interwoven narratives going on, characters clashing with other characters in the same wave, in the same kind of shots. We don't really see that here. We just see like singles of all the figures, which is interesting to me. It's like it feels like, I'm not going to say rushed, but definitely feels like there was a deadline on this one. And again, it's Major Blood. He looks pretty cool in general in his, in his new sort of, I say new getup. There's some new elements to it, but for the most part, it's your Major Blood, isn't it? That we all know and love, with a little bit of red splashed in there as well. And then we see obviously other kind of angular shots of him, in different poses, without the helmet, different kind of ways he's holding his gear and what have you. But this is the thing, there's not really much to kind of go into in detail here. We've already seen the figures for the most part. So I was excited to see the promo images, but I think, like I said, I was sort of expecting, like, you look at the last one, for example, and you had the his tank involved with Footloose kind of tipped over with Darklon, his arm kind of sticking out. So there's that kind of element where there's a lot of things going on. Even in this environment, we've seen it before. We've seen Raptor and the Iron Grenadier and the Iron Grenadier Bat and Alpine and Storm Shadow. We've seen those kind of characters and figures in this environment. Technically, we've seen the Steel Core Commander in this environment getting his butt handed to him by an Iron Grenadier, or a bunch of Iron Grenadiers, or maybe just the one. So yeah, it's kind of like, I was sort of hoping for like a new story, a new narrative, a new sort of like, and other little things going on, like other characters even involved, but we don't see that. And like how we always do, again, we've been put in that position where we're expecting to see homages dropped in here, there, and everywhere. And maybe they're in a position where they just kind of run out of that sort of thing at this stage. But in any case, it gives people the opportunity to get blood. That's totally right, Droz. People are getting opportunities to get a Major Blood in the collection. And I think he looks good. Again, like, it's not buzzing my berries entirely, because I have the Cobra Island Major Blood, and I think that's a phenomenal figure as well. So this is really more of an obligated pickup, if you know what I mean, as a completist on the classified series. But again, there's some nice elements on like the deco and the pinless, knees and elbows and what have you. There's something going on there that's additional. Now, we also get this shot hit of him, like kind of in an action pose. But again, like, they're all very much the same kind of image, similar kind of shape, not like, close-ups of things. And like I said, like other characters involved and other, like a little story going on. That is not happening here, is it? And it's not lost on me. But then you look at the claw, and that is straight out of the Trench Viper modular fortification diorama. And I imagine was probably shot around about the same time, because you've got like some fun stuff going on with that, and loads of cool angles and close-ups and features being showed off. So it's definitely more dynamic. But that's blood. And then of course we've already seen these, but I did put in the higher res images from Pulse into the slideshow. So we're looking now, like yesterday we were looking at kind of ever so slightly low res images that were kind of doing the rounds. But these are the kind of nice, crisp, high-res images that we're seeing. And there's Major Blood on his white background. There's Major Blood dancing with himself. And we'll be getting to the Cobra Commander one very soon. Did you like my post, guys? I could not help myself. I'll get to that in a second. You're probably thinking, what are you talking about? You'll see what I'm talking about in a little bit. Jeremy says this was an intern's project. That's harsh. But it could be. They might have been like, okay, we'll just or it to me it feels like, let's just get these ones done, for a case of sort of like, getting it done. But yeah, we've only got so far one sellout, I believe, and that's Monkey Wrench on Pulse. You'll probably be able to get him on BBTS and EE, but again, I think the prices are a little higher there. Quite nice that Hasbro kept the prices the same. $24.99 for the figures and $54.99 for the claw. I was surprised. I was surprised. I know we've got a $54.99 price point, and they want to fit vehicles in that space, obviously, like the Trouble Bubble and the Ferret and the Paw and the Ram and what have you. I get that, but the Claw, to me, having seen it up close, it's massive. It feels like it could have been more. I'm not saying it should have been, but I was not expecting $54.99. So when I saw that, I was like, damn, all right, I'll take that. So yeah, and especially in this current situation, 100% going to take that. Yeah. Hyatt's Me says maybe they thought they would be retro card shoots and did it quicker. Well, retro card shoots wouldn't have been on Dio's Hyatt's Me, so probably not. Monkey Wrenches are definitely on. Plus, they've been on like Cobra Commander, Major Blood, Snake Eyes, and what's the other one? Monkey Wrench have all been on that retail wave of 4 since we have had information on listings. So it's not like they've changed. They've moved into a different wave of 4, but they haven't moved from like a retro wave and stuff like this. These would have been taken much when they had the figures in hand, mainly. Basically, they would have been taken like not too long ago, I'd imagine. Childish says, I'm surprised Monkey Wrench sold out before Claw. Yeah, me too, actually. The Claw's still going, and it's good as well for the price. Yes, Detective Dirty, probably, yeah, they're probably trying to rinse through stuff to get product out before, yeah, the inevitable tariff situation, which is already on us, really. More Dreadnought Glove indeed. Draws. Max says targeted Python Patrol Trouble Bubble for $49.99. Yeah, but that was an accident. That was not done on purpose. That was an accident, and then Emily even admitted to that on the live stream after the fact, or an interview. Actually, I think it was my interview. I spoke to her about it. Monkey Wrench still up on Pulse. He's not, Derek. He is absolutely sold out on Pulse. If you click on Monkey Wrench himself, it'll tell you sold out. It just doesn't say it on the landing page. So you can like look at all the figures and it'll say like pre-order. If you click into the figure and look at the actual where you go to pick it up to buy it, Monkey Wrench is sold out. Any thoughts on the Super 7 O-ring figures? What do you mean, Droz? In what sense? I mean, I've done a whole unboxing of those Super 7 O-ring figures. So there, all my thoughts are in there. So if you want to check that out, you can check that out after the fact. But we're talking classified today, mate. Michael says, Claw being the price that it is, I indulged and got 2. Couldn't have had it been... Yeah, it could have been more, Michael, basically. It probably could have been. But I don't know. I think they've probably... so as far as I can ascertain, you have an overall budget that you're working to, and you have a line plan that fits that budget like already, and then you work things into that line plan, and you run it through. I think they've talked about this on interviews in the past. They run that through like not engineer. Is it engineering? Costing, probably. It's like probably a whole department, and they tell you if it can be done or not, or what has to be removed, or what has to kind of, that kind of stuff, basically. So it's all a little bit of a balancing act. So I bet they've just decided the Claw was going to be in that price point, and then other things may have moved and shifted around for that to be the case. But yeah, it's probably right that it should be. It's probably right that it should be $54.99, really. But I was just surprised because, like I said, you look at the Ferret, you look at the Trouble Bubble. I know the Claw is like a little bit like thinner, but it's wide and it's actually got some chonk to it. It's not completely flat. It's not like like one of the old school gliders, sort of thin. It's a chonky old thing. Heights Me says, I came for Monkey Wrench and left with the Wave plus an extra Claw. Brilliant. Can we just get a hardball already, says Stephen. Frag Viper needs a nemesis. I agree. I think hardball would be brilliant. And you could definitely do a Marauders hardball in the future, because obviously the club did a Marauders, Slaughter's Marauders, or Slaugter's Marauders, as the hats would have you believe, from the club. That's a if you were a member of the club at the time, if you were into the whole G.I. Joe thing back in the 4-inch days, you'd know what I'm talking about. Slaugter's Marauders. Yeah, it was a spelling error on the hats, which I thought was quite funny. Probably had a flight stand removed, for example. Could have been Jeremy. Yeah, they could have removed some. Yes, that's a good point. There could have been a flight stand that was then costed out. That's true. No lifeline, no peace, says Michael. Indeed. We need lifeline. And mainframe draws. Yes, indeed. Anyway, there's Major Blood. Now, the funny thing is, you might notice this. If you go on the Hasbro Pulse page where Major Blood is, the thumbnails on the left do not correspond with the image you're looking at, which is funny, for one. So you'll click on a few of those images and it's not the right one. They've mixed them up. The thumbnails do not necessarily always relate to what you're looking at on the bigger image next to it, which is weird. Obviously, some glitch has happened there. But then on top of that, there are no packaging on white background images for Blood. So we got them as like leaked sort of images like these, but they don't actually appear on Hasbro Pulse's website. So maybe on Entertainment Earth, maybe on BBTS. I didn't actually check, but they probably are on there. But yeah, so I've kind of just got the same old images up from yesterday. Slightly low res, so we can't see the nice clean kind of view of the back of Major Blood's package, Kitty said. But I'm pretty sure it is just that snake armor that we can see there. But you never know, like a much cleaner. In fact, I'm going to have a look to see if BBTS have it. I'm sure they do. I'm sure BBTS do have the Joe images. Let's have a look. Major Blood. Yeah, they've got the packaging images. I should have used this one. Although it doesn't look crazy clearer, high quality, like quality-wise. I'm going to save it and have a look. I just want to see if there's anything else in there that we may have missed. I mean, it's a little bit better, but not a great deal. Not a great deal, guys. There's something behind that. In fact, there's something behind that snake armor. There is something behind that snake armor. And no, I'm not doing a Chris and saying there's a snake armor behind that snake armor. Again, in joke. But that looks like it could be something behind that snake armor. What is that? Is it like a hiss tank? It could be a hiss tank. Kind of got like a... You'll know what I mean if you zoom in on it. If you zoom in on it, you'll know what I'm talking about. There is a few glitches, actually, 610. Yeah, there's a few glitches. One of them, actually, I found is when you click in new and then go to the filter on the left-hand side. So Hasbro Pulse, go to the like the new and exclusive landing page. Go to new, and then you get all like the G.I. Joe ones are like front and center because they're the newest ones. Then you click on the G.I. Joe filter and Claw disappears. So it's like Claw hasn't got the correct G.I. Joe tag or something to it to connect it to that particular collection. Yeah, sorry, I'm missing loads of comments. My bad. Which part behind the snake, the red? Basically, hi, it's me. Yes, if you look, there's a red element. Part of it is the red, but then you'll see other bits. But if you look at it in the kind of clearer shot, you can almost make out some sort of structure, like a vehicle with treads, possibly. Can you see what I'm saying? It could be like a tank. Looks like maybe a Crimson Attack tank, possibly. But it looks like a thing. I could just be saying things. It could just be the bottom of the building. It could just be nothing. But it could just be, red shine on something. It might not be anything. But I am doing that thing that I always love to do, seeing things in the background. Hell, I saw things in Crystal Ball's promo images that probably are not there. But you know how it is. Is it another snake armor? Yeah, like I said, Chris. Yeah, it's snake armor behind this. It's Shadow Tracker, Paul. Yes, indeed. Pulse needs to completely overhaul website app. They've already done that, and that's why we're in this mess. I think out of shelf space. Derek says I keep having to re-enter my phone number. So annoying. I know. Like, fix that. Not you. Them. I'm glad more mid-size items are being made. A fireback could be nice. Yes, Stroz would be amazing. Anyway, that's Major Blood. Then we get the nice high-res Cobra Commander promo images. Now, once again, this is effectively him and Serpentor just hanging out, really, isn't it? And what is interesting about these ones is that this is probably the worst background to highlight Cobra Commander on, as he just like instantly disappears into it. It's like the same color almost. It's weird, isn't it? Obviously the blue and the red do kind of obviously make it a lot clearer, but it's not. It's almost like a little like phasing into a similar background, which is yeah, like a bit of a no-no, really. Bit of a no-no. But yeah, the figure looks phenomenal. I'm so happy with Cobra Commander, and I think he's come out looking phenomenal. Honestly, I love the finish on the silver on the armor. I don't think it's too. I don't need a chrome one. I really don't. Also, it'd be bloody awful, wouldn't it? Like in terms of the, you know, I don't know, you'd be handling it so carefully if the whole thing was chrome, which is not obviously never going to be. You'll get little bits and pieces that are chromed here, like a face mask or what have you. But when it comes to the entire figure, I doubt they're going to do that. But I love the finish on him. I think it's not dull. Like it could have been one of those ones where they wash it and it's just like really gross. And they didn't. They've given it a nice shine, but it's not too much and it's not too. It's kind of like perfect in my opinion. It's perfectly balanced, the finish from these images anyway. Yeah, so there's that. And then of course, obviously the iguana and Serpentor's in there too. The only narrative running through the mainline images is that he wants to stand on Serpentor and crush him. But it looks like the iguana gets away to fight another day. But that I think the iguana looks amazing. It's so good. Look how long that tail is. This is like one of the weirdest things to ever happen to G.I. Joe. Yes, they've always been known for having animal companions. Of course, it's always been a part of the brand, of the toys, of the show, of the comic. Animals have always been a huge part of G.I. Joe. Always have, always will be. But what's happened with Classified that's really been funny, and how they have interpreted that effectively what this means is we get a zoo of incredibly diverse and awesome and crazy animals that are absolutely top level action figures. And this is just a little iguana. And even this dude's got little articulation points. I think just in the 4-point, maybe on 5 with the neck. But it's so good. Like, it's so good. And the deco on it's beautiful. This is like, it just reminds me of a Chaos. Is it Chaos Effect? Jurassic Park toys. I think it was Chaos Effect, where they had all those amazing colors, and that specific color I think was used on a Velociraptor or something like that. But that kind of green and yellow with the kind of black stripes and everything, just phenomenal. Love it. Absolutely love it. And we get to see close-ups of him as well. Look, here he is almost getting crushed. There he is getting away from the horrible Cobra Commander. And there he is on a different angle, just to show you even more of him from a different angle. Yeah, I'm definitely down for all of the animals in this line, 100%. And they're just so well done. We also get a shot of Cobra Commander there with his backpack, which a lot of people, and I'm definitely one for, I can't remember. I genuinely can't remember how I had my Cobra Commander wearing his backpack. Genuinely don't remember as a kid which way round I had it, because I had this Cobra Commander. It was actually my only Cobra Commander for a very long time, until Talking Battle Commanders Cobra Commander came out. What year was he? 87, was it? Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Now that. So, yeah, see, Carson on 3D Joe's, he has it the other way around, which I think is how I had it, because on the card art, he had the 2 prongs which stuck over the shoulders on the card art. But the backpack didn't really look anything like that. It does have those sort of prongs, but it's nowhere near as like obvious in its design as it is on the card art. They're very different. So who could say if it was supposed to be? So we'll just show. I just want to show. Obviously, Carson's got his this way round. So this is the way Carson's got it round, but I would have had it, I think, the other way around, like we see on the Cobra Commander on screen. Because on the card art, like I said before, you had the two prongs sticking up directly, which again, it's whatever you want at the end of the day. But he has those two prongs sticking up, which reminded me of what the bottom of as it is on that screen, basically. So personally, for me, I'm pretty sure I had it that way on screen. I had it that way up, the way that it is on screen right now. The way Carson's got it on 3D Joe's, that's not how I had my backpack shown off. Now, again, I kind of feel like it's a little bit different strokes for different folks, isn't it? This one. But I was definitely, as a kid, going with what I thought was right based on the card art. So that's what I personally did. So this is one of those things. This is going to be the internet argument now, isn't it? Going on. What we saying? As a kid, I used the backpack the other way, says Derek. The other way, not like shown on screen right now, right? Yeah. The back of the pack on the 87 figure has a curved back, but helps orient it correctly. But wings throw me off, says Max. I had small side up. Interesting, Chris. Yeah, the opposite of how I would have it. Backpack was always pointing upward as a jetpack, says Stanley. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I still want Talking Battle Commander General Hawk, says Scott. Can't help you. I do have one. I always had it point down based on OG card art. Same Paul on that one. It's a jetpack, says Out of Shelf Space. Which version of Coco will fill my claw? That's a good shout. I always went the other way and pretended it was a jetpack. I think a lot of people did, but I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not saying you're right or wrong when you do this. I'm just saying, as a kid, my interpretation was completely based on what it looked like on the card art. And that's what I did. Like, I did it based on what he looked like on the card art, which you could say is wrong, and fair enough if that is the way, you had it a different way. Do we ever see that backpack in the comic? Because I know we see him obviously in we see Fred in the uniform, and I think we see Cobra Commander very shortly for a short period of time in the uniform. But do we see the jetpack in action? I remember he's flying around in one of his uniforms in the comic. Anyway, what does it say on the? That's a good point. What does it say on the accessories? Auto assault pistol. It's a life support backpack, guys. It is not a jetpack. It is a life support backpack. But then again, it could be life support if he's being carried out of a dangerous situation. So a jetpack could technically be life support. Yeah. So helmets fit with internal. Just want to see if there's anything about the backpack, but no, they don't actually mention the backpack. They just talk about the armor in general. The entire suit is air-conditioned, solvent-resistant, and ray-shielded. The helmet is fitted with an integral commo system, internal readouts for environmental quality, and a miniaturized computer display. Lovely stuff. Anyway, you probably can put it either way. They've probably done it in such a way that you can have it either way you want. So there's that, isn't there? Yes, Casual, I just read that out about his air conditioning. Even big bad cobras need air conditioning. Yeah, I'd never give up. I never give up an opportunity to do a Mercer line, because Mercer's got some lines in that movie, some absolute bangers. Anyway, here he is in his, all of his bits and bobs, with the backpack sort of doing that. Again, I think you can probably have it either way, and I think that was something that we've all found out. We all did it differently as well. So choices. This, I joked about this last night on the stream and said, I'm probably, by the time I finish this episode, someone's probably going to do the Spider-Man meme, and I didn't see it anywhere. So I was kind of like, okay. And then today I'm like, still haven't seen it. I was putting this together, like putting the new images in, and I went, sod it, I'm going to do it. And I did it. I took far too much time doing this, by the way. If you look at the original Spider-Man meme, you'll be like, actually, you've definitely had to doctor that image in order to hide the Spider-Men, because they don't literally cover the Spider-Man figures perfectly. So I had to do a little bit. You can even see where I've messed up a little bit. If you look at the crotch on the right, on the one look with his back to us, if you look under his crotch, it probably should be like the wall should run under his grundle a little bit there. Can you see that? Actually, that tire, by the way, hi, it's me. That's the shape that it is, even with Spider-Man there. I did actually do a little bit of color over that, but it's literally that's the shape of it. It's hilarious. The box on the right-hand side, the lower box that's on again all the way to the right, the one on the floor, the box on the floor, I had to literally paint that corner in. So it did have a Spider-Man elbow, I think, over it. So I covered over that. Either way, I'm going into way too much detail here to explain that, yeah, I couldn't resist, and I did the pointing Spider-Man meme with these two images. I think it looks good. I think it's worked. I think it's come out quite fun. And I almost feel like they did it on purpose. Whoever was posing this Cobra Commander did this on purpose. Every time we get a pointy figure in the classified series reveals, I'm going to be coming back to this Spider-Man meme for sure. Thank you, hi, it's me. I appreciate it. Yeah, anyway, lovely stuff. And also, I haven't painted over the P on NYPD. It is literally that poorly drawn. I didn't touch the P, Kitty said. Anyway, brilliant stuff. Cobra Commander packaging. I do have the higher res images here, so we can have a look in the background to see if there's any more bits and bobs, but I don't think there is. It's a little clearer though, and you can kind of see a lot more detail in the background. You can see more detail in the sort of temple in the background from the Deke series, of course. And of course, there's the iguana, there's Serpentor, with a I say once a man Cobra Commander, but you know what I mean. Deke Snakehead Cobra Commander. I think it is on the back. That's what they've kind of gone with the default on here, and I think they're really pushing that Deke. They're pushing the Deke, aren't they? Gross. Oh, who wants a pogo? I think everyone does, right? Cobra Commander number 1 and Cobra Commander number 2, says Paisano. That is in the other image, yes, absolutely. Scott says new Sarge will end up in the meme then. He likes his pointers too. He does, Scott. I hope they do a pointy Sarge in the 2-pack, so on the white background. Killer says, I did this in FB group with my 3 Spirit Iron Knives. I made a Desert Spirit to make the triangle affect me. Brilliant, Killer. Yeah, I didn't do the 3. I thought that might be pushing it. But yeah, it's definitely, you could always flip one of the, you could flip the reverse Cobra Commander, right? And then have him on the left-hand side. So you could have 2 with their back to you and 1, yeah, sort of. But yeah, all fun and games, isn't it, really, at the end of the day? Right, next up, we have Monkey Wrench. Again, we're in the same background, so it's not like, again, we're not seeing like a narrative running through this one. It's just environment and images, but the figure looks perfect. This is like execution of the highest level right here. You know, Cobra Commander turned out really nice. Major Blood, all right, looks good. Snake Eyes, lovely stuff. Monkey Wrench, absolute perfection. Like, this is the perfect melding of that vintage vibe with a few little touches here and there that just raise it up a level. Removable shades, but under the hair connector. So I like that. And it does look like someone mentioned that the shades might be a little bit translucent, and they are. It looks like they are. It looks like there is a little bit of kind of like give in there. It's not just a block kind of painted color, which I was surprised about, honestly. Yeah, he definitely has a metal belt loop. Hi, it's me, and I think it's done on purpose. I don't think it's an error. I think they've done it as a design aesthetic thing. But yeah, like the weapon, they've really nailed that, or tridented. They've really tridented that. It's just superb. The seatbelt clip on the bandolier is just phenomenal, and again on the thigh strap, cute little touches. I just can't get enough of those. All the little details on him are really nice. There's some nice detailing on the vest actually as well, like those little kind of extra deco on the straps on the side. It's just really nice, really nice. Yeah, the Yeah, the two metal belt loops. There's one at the front and there's one at the back. Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant stuff. And he looks great. Here's a couple of shots of him crossing his axes, monkey wrench axes, his wrench axes, and without his shades and with his other mask attachment on. Kind of looks really cool. Really interesting idea to do that. I haven't got a close up on unfortunately, Stanley, but yeah, you can go check that out on any of the images that are out there. But yeah, I don't have a close up on the scar, unfortunately. But it's a beauty, and it kind of goes like it goes from up here, goes down, and then splits, kind of like forks into two over the cheek. It's actually really intricate. It's quite cool. Yeah, just brilliant. Love this figure. And yeah, I really want to talk to them about this sort of like 3D lens, sort of like gas mask thing and where that came from. But I guess it's a simple narrative. He uses gas grenades, doesn't he? He likes explosions. He throws grenades. He blows things up. He causes general mayhem and chaos. So it makes sense for him to have some sort of gas mask protection for sure. Yes, Monkey Wrench has sold out, Kevin. Yes, we said that at the beginning of the show. Yeah, I think he's the only one so far. That may have changed right now, but most of it seems to be still be available on Pulse, apart from Monkey Wrench, of course. Christopher Moody says, my second favorite Dreadnought Monkey Wrench. I don't like his shades, though. They should be silver aviators. I don't know what these are. Well, you mean those? I don't know. I think they look pretty cool. They look pretty Monkey Wrenchy. And again, like I love that option with the scar, the kind of neckerchief to go over the face, the bandana over the face. That's really dope. The tears in the jeans are sculpted. Yes, that is correct. They are sculpted. They are. Yeah, they absolutely are. Smoke would be in his wheelhouse. Yeah, I'm sure it would. Like smoke grenades, just grenades in general are going to cause some, some debris, some crap in the air as well. So it's good to have a bit of protection, both either on both of these images, a full-on gas mask or a just a face covering that you can just put on his face as he's going through the debris that he's created. But you know what? If they'd have done this in the same vein that they've done in the past with some of these figures, with the promo images, we'd have seen Monkey Wrench with smoke around him wearing these things. Do you know what I mean? Like it feels like they've just gone, let's just take pictures of these on the same background, bosh. But there you go. The figures look great still. That's really the important part. And here's again some good shots here, showing off the shades, kind of pulling them down. His shades, that is. Yeah, all good stuff. I think this is one of my favorites of the bunch. He's definitely, I think Monkey Wrench is going to be in people's top 5s this year. I would be surprised if we don't see him at least dropping a few like top 10s or top 5s from people, from different YouTubers and social posts and stuff, and Instagram and stuff like that. I wouldn't be very surprised if Monkey Wrench doesn't appear in the majority of them. Lots of good display options for Monkey Wrench. Absolutely high to me. What look are you guys going to go with Monkey Wrench on? I'm probably going to go shades, regular hair, and maybe the neckerchief down. That's probably what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to have the neckerchief just so he uses one of them. It's going to be going down, like as in not over his face, and it's going to be the shades. I think that's my default look. He's probably going to have the axes on his back, which obviously he does, and both clips for both of them, which is even better. And he's probably going to have his major trident weapon in play. That's what I'm going to do personally. But for those that enjoy different display options every now and again, for those that buy more than one to show off those display options, you've got options. And toy photographers are probably going to have an absolute ball with this guy. Phenomenal stuff. And then we've got obviously all the stuff we've kind of seen already, but in higher res. Yeah. We've seen it all. We've seen it all. And then we've got the package images. And then again, I had another close-up on the back of the package here just to see if there was anything I missed before, and possibly have. He's standing on something that I didn't notice before on the older images. Which I'm going to have to friggin' find on, like, Pulse again, aren't I? But yeah, he's standing on something there, and I just want to kind of make sure I see what it is. It's going to take me ages though, because I can't multitask, can I? For crap. So I'm clicking on Monkey Wrench. Still sold out. The claw is finally available. Do you mean in general maximum warp? Because yeah, it's still available on Pulse as well. I know it's taken ages, hasn't it? Considering we've known about it for the longest bloody time. Okay, here, what is he standing on? Oh, it says Springfield Theatre. Have you guys noticed that? That thing he's standing on, that little sign, is a sign that says Springfield Theatre. So they're really pushing the Cold Slither tour, aren't they? The Cold, July 23rd, Cold Slither. And you can see it nice and clear now. Live at the Springfield, they call it. Extensive Enterprises presents. You can really see a lot more like detail on this poster now. Doors 7 p.m, music 7:30 p.m, $20 cash, and then I don't know what it says at the bottom, 4+ something. I don't know, but that's really cool that you can see way more detail on that. Love that. Anything else going on in this image that I should really bring attention to? No, just the grape soda cans as usual, the drum kit, obviously, the gas can. Gas can. Does that mean anything to anybody? Maybe like Buzz's backpack. That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? I miss that. I still don't know what's on that bloody calendar. I desperately want to know what's on that calendar. Anyway, that's some really nice additional detail on that poster. I love it. And the fact that I didn't notice he was standing on the Springfield Theatre sign before, like, that is brand new news to me. Like, I just noticed it as it came up on the screen, and I was like, oh yeah, it does look a bit Stonehenge-y actually, doesn't it, Michael? Is that Stonehenge on the calendar? That's not a bad shout, you know. Going to be looking at Stonehenge images on Google now, aren't we? The snake armor was back up for a minute as well, was it, Joss? Interesting. Jim says, don't forget to mention today is the last chance to fund the G.I. Joe Wish book. Okay, thank you, Jim. Thanks for reminding me. Yes, we have posted about that in the past, but yes, go check that out on socials, and or just go into Kickstarter and yeah, G.I. Joe Wish book, get involved. Maybe a Spinal Tap reference. Could be, Michael. Could very well be. It's a good shout though, the Stonehenge one. I'll have to do some digging on that. Anyway, lovely stuff. And then we have Snake Eyes. We've still got quite a bit to get through. I just realized. What made me laugh about this particular image is how that secondary on the thigh has slipped down to his knee and nobody has noticed in taking that picture. That for me is like, that's a funny one. But like, that's sort of, I don't know, that's sort of like, it's I can understand that because I've taken pictures in the past thinking they're amazing, like posed something for the longest time, took a picture, and then later I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, I didn't realize the blooming knife was in the wrong way, or the pistol was in the wrong way, or that wasn't in there, that was not in the shot, or that happens all the time. So I get it, but you're kind of a bit like, oh man. They might not be Matt's photos, but they might be. So I'm not going to say they're awful, because they're not. They're just, it's not the same sort of narrative thing that's going on for me on this one. This Snake Eyes though, love him. I love the he looks so much better as well than, you know, any of the sort of leaks were kind of hinting at. Then when we first got the render, I thought, I was like a little like, yeah, it's all right, I'm excited because it's a version 4 Snake Eyes, but I wasn't like, yes. But now I see the figure, I'm like, I love it, absolutely love it. And again, like on the cliff face, that's a great shot, love that one. The next one, that one on the left, is very Retaliation, isn't it? That's got some retaliation vibes right there, with the sword out, cutting the other guy's ropes and everything, the ninjas, red ninjas ropes and what have you. I'm definitely excited to use him and Alpine together. And then obviously I can't believe I haven't got hit and run yet. Genuinely can't believe hit and run doesn't exist in this line. So I could see in the future Alpine, hit and run, and Snake Eyes all sort of, being in the same kind of display for sure. Jinx is coming from the other way. Yes, Scott. You'd have to use Helix though, because Jinx is wearing that yellow and black, isn't she, in the movie? Ed says it happens, but this absolutely looks like rushed production with the promo pics. It does. I have to be completely honest with that. It does. It looks like they've gone, let's just get them done. Let's get them out there. Let's get it sorted. This Snake Eyes caused me to break out my Jinx, Kamakura, Nunchuck, and my articulated icon ninjas. It's a vibe from that era that gets me sometimes. Totally. What I really like about this and some of these promo images are the head sculpt, because loads of detail on the head sculpt that I didn't know existed based on the other images that we'd seen. So some really nice little touches they've done on that kind of mask, especially around the sides as well. Like, it's really cool. I'm all about this Snake Eyes. I can't wait for him. I'm hoping with this one that some sort of like Gridiron or someone like that does like some sort of rocket launching accessory to launch those sort of like little grappling hooks. And that might be a bit too much of a stretch, but even if it's just a large accessory that you can kind of get, that would be kind of fun. Yeah, I wonder actually, Long, if they do the Dollar General green variant version now that we've got this one. I bet they do. And I bet it's like Night Force Snake Eyes or something like that, because that would work, wouldn't it? It'd sort of work with Night Force as the green and black. I think people would dig that, actually. And you could take some liberties with it, couldn't you? You could kind of do like a camo pattern or something on there too, or some extra little touch or thing on there just to make it like its own little classified thing, just a slight homage to the green. But yes, I think that'd be really, really cool. Yeah. Anyway, there's Snake Eyes. Very nice. And there's a final shot of him from the back, so we can see the swords in their sheath. I did notice as well, they don't show that submachine gun in the sort of like flappy open, Kitty said, holster on his thigh. So I really need to see that in action personally. It probably does work, but I want to see it. And it's a shame, really, because a live event, we would have been able to see that happen. They'd have shown us that on screen. They'd have shown us all these little foibles and bits and pieces and stuff, and we'd get even more out of it. So, yeah. Anyway, did you say it's in the last slide? Oh, it is. How did I miss that? Ed, how did I miss that? I looked at all of these images for the longest time, fretting that they hadn't put the bloody thing in the friggin' holster, and there it is on the left. To the left. His submachine gun in a holster on the left. There you go, perfectly. That's so funny. I've just been moaning about something that is clearly happening on screen. Brilliant. I think at least it's not a what's the word? A defunct holster, because there's nothing worse than that. Well, there is, but you know what I mean. It's pretty rubbish when you get a defunct holster or sheath that's just got nothing in it. It never makes any sense, that, to me. So, and it doesn't happen that often. I remember didn't it happen on Steel Core Commander, maybe? Or maybe it was the actual Steel Core 2-pack. One of them. Oh, maybe it was the Night Force Quarrel, wasn't it? It was Quarrel and Falcon, right? Didn't Quarrel have something that didn't actually, like, we don't have a pistol for, or some other thing? I can't remember what it was. Pistol with no holster or something like that. But we've definitely seen defunct holsters in the past. I think putting the MP5 into the holster was an afterthought. Possibly Peter. Very possibly. Or maybe like
not an afterthought, but the only option they had because they needed to cut some stuff. Maybe it was the only option they were left with. But yeah, I get what you're saying. It doesn't feel like a designed thing, does it? Last thing I expected from the Full Force podcast was a G.I. Joe themed Beyonce song tribute. Then you don't know the Full Force well enough, Long Online. You haven't been long online long enough. I'm just kidding. I'm only joking, of course. Steel Core Commander did not come with a pistol for the holster. Thank you, Robert. So there is a defunct holster that I was thinking of. Scarlet didn't have a holster. Yes, Eduardo. That's a good point. Anyway, thank you, Ed, for pointing out that we do actually see that submachine gun in his holster. I can't believe I missed that like multiple times. There he is. Lovely stuff. Again, like I'm into this. Oh, the other thing I didn't notice, the other thing I didn't talk about is this. On the right hand side, I wanted to talk about this as well. On the right hand image, you can clearly see the extra detail tempo of the kind of like the text or the you know, the little kind of detailing on the wrists, on the wrist gauntlets. I didn't know that was on any of them until I saw that image up close, and I'm like, oh, they've done it. They've added that kind of like nice little detail that is on the original figure. Like, I love the fact on that original figure there's that extra kind of sculpted detail. So I'm really happy that they've managed to do something like that on the old wrists, the old wrist gauntlets. So that was a nice little kind of yeah, like a nice surprise when I saw that one. So that's brilliant. There you go. I think that's everything I wanted to talk about with Snake Eyes. I think it is, yeah. And then of course we've got the packaging, of course, and this is a lot better, clearer, and you can see that's clearly some sort of Cobra rock face in the background, which is pretty dope, isn't it? Got to run that through a kanji translation, says Max. Yes. Knives without sheaths annoy me. Same, Grizzlehorn. Same. So this Snake Eyes left the cabin with Scarlet's holster then. Got it. Thank you, Hi, it's me. Yes, that's exactly what happened. Coffee and Toys does say, though, and I have to agree on this a little bit, because especially when we're talking about the wrist gauntlet details, the more I compare this SE to the vintage version, it seems they skimped out on some details. I do agree. I think they've rather than doing like a sculpted element on that wrist, it's got to be tampoed, which is a shame. But I'm glad it's done, because at least we've got something on those wrist gauntlets. And I was sort of hoping that was the case, but when I saw all the other images, I didn't notice them, and I don't think they really come through on the other images, do they? Yeah, they're there. So I could have, you could have seen them if I'd been looking hard enough. Not there, obviously, because they're aimed away from us, but certainly this angle, this shot should have given that away. But anyway, yes, this is the second figure to feature the fang, or multiple fangs, and that was Starduster was the first one. So yeah, I mean, a fang seems to me to be a very doable vehicle for this line. Not in that sense, but like the fang definitely seems to me like it's something that this line can support and people will want. So yeah, I think we'll probably see a fang at some point. With the pilot of some description, probably like a male version of the female pilot that comes with the claw. What about that for a segue? I hope we're getting a fang in 2026. I would be surprised if we didn't, honestly. But yeah, it's not confirmed, obviously. Anyway, there is, we've got promo images for this beauty. So like I said, the claw is massive and pretty damn cool, actually. It is like it's effectively like a little drone, isn't it? But you can stick a person on the underside of it. So yeah, and again, they have gone to town on the details for the claw, like 100% here. So you can see the pilot in all these different positions. A couple of nice little kind of homage shots here. You can see an explosion going off there. There's another figure in the background. It looks like, is that Major Blood with that arm? That arm looks a little bit Major Bloody, doesn't it? But could it be like the Trench Viper or something? I haven't actually again, first time I've seen some of these up close and personal. Let's see if why do I have to keep telling it what country I'm in? Go away. Where are we? There we are. So I want to just have a look to see what we're dealing, because obviously this is the Trench Vipers modular fortification diorama. So I'm assuming we're going to see some Trench Vipers. But then I zoom in on that. Yeah, it just looks like a Trench Viper. I think it's a Trench Viper. What do you guys think? Trench Viper? Or is it Major Blood? Thoughts, please? No one saying anything? Okay, fair enough. It's to the left. Thank you, Long Online. I think that's a Trench Viper. It's hard to say. It really is hard to say. So I'm going to move on. Obviously, there are other Trench Vipers in the shot, like that one in the background there. That's a Trench Viper in the background. All Trench Vipers, yeah. Cobra Trooper question? Yeah, everyone's saying Trench. HasLab leak and the claw artwork. Whatever, Antonio. It's not the first time we've seen an HQ on the back of a figure box. General Hawk had it first. I tell you now, if we were going to get a HasLab HQ, I'd be up for it. I would absolutely be up for it. I think it'd be so cool, but it would be massive. And again, I'd be up for it. Any other cheeky? I'm just trying to see if any other cheeky background sneaks in there. This is a good shot. Again, these are much more dynamic. Loads of pics as well. Loads of fun angles. Loads of like showing all the different features. Like this landing shot with like the wing tips up and the flaps up. Kitty said, and all of the landing gear down. It's wicked. I think it's mad good. Antonio, it would be amazing if we had an HQ. I would be blown away. It would be so good. Joe says, love the new pics of the claw. Yeah, there's some good ones here. The female pilot's got some details that I didn't notice again before. I'm not sure if we've seen it already. And again, that's just me not being very observant when it comes to reuse. But I do love that sort of like padded lower torso piece on her kind of uniform. I think that's kind of cool. This is definitely like the claw pics are phenomenal. Again, like the Trench Viper and the modular fortification in the background showing off, like, and that's some big old guns in this one, I'm telling you now. But again, I do like the design of this figure. I think there's a lot to like about this pilot, and a lot of stuff that, again, I didn't really notice before. Lots of nice little details on that, like the different, like the little black texture on the top, the Cobra sigil bit in red on the blue background, the kind of secondary that has that padded kind of pouches thing going on. It's very cool. Oh, it's the Marine Sniper overlay. Thank you, Jeremy. Again, I would never have noticed that in a million years, but it's a great use of that, great reuse, I would say, for this particular figure. It does look hilariously oversized, Bias One. Not the first time we've seen hilariously oversized weapons in G.I. Joe, though, is it? It is like something out of Starship Troopers. It really is. It's a cool gun, though, that one. I like that one on the left. Anyway, yeah, cool. Yeah, look at the size of that bloody thing. Is that that kind of huge round barrel is nuts, isn't it? Again, I'm just kind of being careful to make sure I've seen every single thing, because Matt has said himself, Matt Cohen, Shooting the Galaxy, we'll be talking to him very soon as well. He has mentioned that they do put stuff in the background of these things all the time. He says some people don't notice things even when they've put something in there, like, you know, and there is stuff that we've never picked up on apparently as a fandom, that they know that they've done and is in there and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. Ed says this shotgun was huge when it came with the Hiss gunner. Why do they think this looks good with the smaller female figures? I don't know. She can have a massive gun. It's just unwieldy bloody thing. I like that little showing the guns on the top as well, and how you can move them and have blast effects and all that kind of stuff as well. So there's that aspect to it, which is really good. I don't know, lots of cool stuff to enjoy about this. And yeah, blast effect ports as well work on the engines as well. This is one hell of a cool thing. The Claw has been one I think a lot of people have been wanting and waiting for a long time. So this is definitely, I think this one's definitely up there for that kind of highly anticipated sort of release. So there you go. And kind of coming around the same time as a snake armor as well, which is, feels like it's a purposeful thing, that or at least, it feels good that they're coming at the same time, Kitty said. I've put like a couple of images together here just to show the kind of loadout. So we do get some blast effects that come with it as well. Do we get, I think we get multiple blast effects, don't we? No, it's just those blast effects. Okay, because there's another image that shows like a different view of the figure with the different heads next to it. But effectively, yeah, you get a pilot helmet and gas mask head, and then you get the other two, the kind of dark skin and the light skin tone heads as well. And obviously, the helmet works on all three of those. And yeah, all the other bits of the missiles, the huge bloody gun and its tub of a ammo friggin' magazine. Then you've got a drum, I should say. Then you've got the Uzi, or the submachine gun, the pistol, and the two blast effects, and a figure stand as well for the figure, I guess. Yeah, nice one. And then another nice shot of it on the white background. Just a nice, clean, clear image of this one, and it looks phenomenal. And you get to see like, yeah, the landing gear nice and clearly kind of like retracted, and it looks really good. This is I'm excited for the Claw, very excited. Can't wait to get these, says Chad. The Fang 2, says G Baird. Yes, love to see the Fang at some point, and we've just talked about it a lot obviously on the artwork for Snake Eyes. I pre-ordered them all from Hasbro Pulse, same Doomed. I find their guns are oversized out of scale, says Tech. I mean, that one certainly is. The 25th anniversary Claw was kind of weak sauce, very thin. This thing is a flying wing, intimidating AF. I have to agree with that, Ed. I didn't see Monkey Wrench selling out as he did, says Robert. I didn't, honestly. I did expect to see maybe Cobra Commander sell out first out of all of them. I didn't expect them to sell out quickly. I think I expected Cobra Commander of the 4 figures to go first. So to see Monkey Wrench go so quickly was a surprise, although he is a brilliant figure and I shouldn't be surprised. But the Claw I expected to sell out instantly, and they still have them. So go nuts. First non-retro figure with stand, says Nictimus Prime, or questions Nictimus Prime. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. Probably is, isn't it? First non-retro figure without, yeah, that sounds right. Anyway, lovely stuff. And of course, we have the box art, which we have obviously seen for ages because it was revealed ages ago, this box art. And actual fact, I believe the box art full artwork, or the render artwork, was shown off in full. So we don't have like the little cutout bit where the figure is, so we can see a little bit more of what's going on to the right-hand side. There's a little image in between that little kind of where the figure, the main claw image, and the lower claw image. In between all of that, in that little triangular space, is Snake Eyes on the top of one of the claws. The image isn't super clear still, so we can't really see. It looks effectively like another pilot on the claw, and Snake Eyes is just bothering them. He's just on the top of it, about to punch him out of it, basically. But yeah, you can. I think for a while we thought, because the image wasn't really clear, it did look a little bit like Snake Eyes and Scarlet from Silent Interlude, sort of homage. But it just looks like he's jumped on the back of a claw and he's about to, beat up a pilot. Watching from Tokyo today, Chris. Vacation and classified. Blitz, that's amazing. I hope you're having a great time. I'd love to go to Tokyo. I've never been, and I think it would be pretty cool. Had to buy 2 claws because they are so good, says X Factors. I do not doubt that. I think you're right. I was happy with the claws price. Had expected to pay more, says 77T John. I think everyone was expecting higher prices across the board. I was pleasant. I was hoping, I was fingers crossed that it wouldn't be, but I did have a feeling that it might go up because the whole fact that these have come out a little bit earlier than anticipated. We were expecting the Yojo June this particular wave. Well, two of these particular wave we were expecting Yojo June. So to have them so soon in the year was like, I wonder if they're trying to beat something or if they're just trying to get ahead of things or what the situation is. It's not very clear, but it doesn't surprise me that, we've got like, the kind of the aspect of the delay from last year they mentioned that is definitely a thing that's happened. And then, all of the current situation going on with tariffs and what have you, I feel like I think everyone was expecting it. And everyone was kind of like wincing, ready to just take that hit. And it never happened, or it didn't happen this time, I should say. So yeah, fingers crossed on that one. But yeah, the claw's beautiful. I think they did a bang up job. The artwork looks amazing. People just saying at the moment the HQ is going to be the next HasLab, but I doubt that's the case. It would be amazing. I'd be all for it. And it's a beautiful render of a base, isn't it? HQ. But again, we have seen it already on the Hawks card, and I don't think anyone was talking about a HasLab HQ at that point. Anyway, we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? Wilfredo says, pleasantly surprised that they were reasonably priced too. Yes, I think, yeah, like I said, everybody probably was. Then, of course, we have obviously the back of the back of the package. Cobra Pilot and Cobra Claw, the covert light aerial weapon. Brilliant. Now, I've updated the listings, guys, including I've got a listing in 2026 to reveal for you, as in a characters for a listing, which you probably already know what it's going to be. I've already sort of kind of hinted at it. It's pretty obvious. But on this particular page for 2025, I've updated the Snake Eyes, Monkey Wrench, Battle Armor, Cobra Commander, Mage Blood, and Claw are now green. And what's mental, guys, was it's April of 2025, and the majority of this list is already green, which makes me wonder if they're going to be pulling stuff from the 2026 line plan into this year. Because I don't think we were this far along in April last year, where we had about 4 figures revealed last year. So I don't know. It's crazy. There's still 20 pre-orders to go just for 2025. Back half of this year is going to be bloody for our wallets. Yeah, but I mean, it's not like, it seems like a lot of green on that screen for me. But anyway. Max says August 1st and October 1st looking packed for release dates. Yes, absolutely. Cobra Emperor, G.I. Joe O-Ring Collector Delta 17 says, what's the next Super 7 wave? Who do you think will be in Wave 4 Super 7? Don't know, but usually it's leaked in it by BBTS, usually, or Entertainment. No, I think it's BBTS that usually leak it, the kind of like listings anyway. But no, I don't know, actually. What would I like to, or what would be good educated guesses? Hard to say when you've got a wave that's just been, that had a Fatal Fluffy and Raymar in it, and then this wave has got like a color changing Zartan Cold Slither and a Winter Jacket Cobra Commander. Like, I don't know at the end of the day, but I feel like we could probably expect something like, who haven't we had yet that's kind of like Scarlet Baroness. I could see them doing some sort of like, not female heavy, but like a couple of females in the wave. Have we had any females in the waves yet? CoverGirl. We have had CoverGirl. So I suppose, yeah, they could throw, I think Scarlet would be a good shout because it's been 2 waves now. So I think Scarlet would be a good shout, unless CoverGirl was in the second one. I can't remember now. I can't remember how it all came out. No, CoverGirl was wave 1. So yeah, there's been a few waves without a female figure. So I would suggest Scarlet would be a good one. Roadblock with Blind Eyes would be really good, G.I. Joe Fan Addict. That would be great. Lady J is a good shout, yes. Mark says next Super 7 will be Snake Eyes, Duke, Cobra Commander, and another bat. Yeah, and the bat showing up as well in targets as well. I'm sure you're already aware of that as well. Anyway, coming back to classified elite listings, Like I said, I've updated them to say green, and that's it pretty much for the ones that are now available for pre-order. And now let's reveal the 2026 listing that I think you already know is coming. Bosh, yes, JQ Johnny 2-pack G2051 Fanmazin is the Taurus and Red Dog 2-pack. There you go. All right. So it's not as prolific, is it, as this color in the coloring system, but we're getting there. And of course, we've already added to these listings recently, so they're growing by the month or so. We had those retro listings added, of course, at the back end on the exclusives and miscellaneous there. They popped up very recently. So again, expect more listings, not necessarily characters, but more listings to appear as the year progresses for 2026. And and as name onlys and other things and leaks happen, then I'm sure we'll be unlocking these at some point as well. Right then. And then just to kind of continue on with there, you've got the name only reveals for Sergeant Slaughter, Mercer, Taurus, and Red Dog. Sergeant is Renegades, coming in 2-pack form, which is interesting, isn't it? And then, of course, and we've seen leaked images of, that's all I'll say on that one. And then, of course, we've got the digital renders has been updated as well, which is effectively me just removing digital renders. So Snake Eyes, Cobra Commander, Major Blood, and Monkey Wrench are all now in the pre-order, and they're in that kind of green light system. Now, we should do like a traffic light system, shouldn't we? Red is like leaked, amber is in like name only digital render place, and then green is in hand or something. I don't know. We need more lights. There are more stages. Brilliant stuff. So Ore Striker, I expect to be seeing some of that in Yojo June, maybe. Same with the MMS, actually. I could maybe it's going to be vehicle heavy in Yojo June. Retro Green Shirt, of course, and the Retro Bat. I don't know when they're planned. Again, probably Yojo June. Slice and Dice, same kind of vibe. Obviously, Cold Slither are going to be in July for SDCC. So, yeah. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? We'll have to wait and see, won't we? Anyway, that is me, guys. Thank you very much for joining me. 2 nights in a row. 2-a-days, or no, just twice in 2 days. I will return soonish, I imagine. I'm sure there's going to be some news this week, so I'll news burst when appropriate. We're still lining up the interview, Lenny and Tony situation. Like I said, I'm going to be talking to Matt shooting the Galaxy as well, and I'll be reaching Brian Flynn from Super 7 as well, especially with all of the kind of recent stuff with the reaction figures and the Python Patrol Bat, which is showing up in Target now as well. And that's a Target exclusive. You'll only find that in Target, guys, by the way. It won't be going up on the Super 7 website. So just bear that in mind. You'll either find it in store or on their Target online. Right then. Thank you very much for joining me. I will see you on the next one. Stay fresh, cheese bags. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all of the the usual. I appreciate it, guys, very much so. Appreciate all of your comments and all of your interaction and all of your questions, and all of your very nice comments as well. I will see you on the next one. Stay fresh, cheese bags, and as always, after 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Full force. Laters.
That's it for this installment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, full force.
Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always, you can keep up with the show after listening by following on all of our social platforms, links in the description, and if you would like to contact the show, you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback or questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.